There are moments when you enter a place where nothing has ever happened to you, and yet your body reacts as if something unseen is unfolding. A quiet room, with no visible history, no striking objects, and still, an invisible shift takes hold. It's not loud, it's not dramatic. It's the gentle pressure that rises from within, a slow change in how your chest expands. Maybe it's not about what's there, but about what remains. Some spaces don't carry objects or memories, but atmospheres. Emotional residue that lingers despite the passing of time. What was never spoken, what was only felt in silence, what never had a name, floats just above the floor. And when someone like you enters, someone who feels deeply, it stirs again. You don't have to understand it, you don't have to name it, because it's not your imagination. It's resonance. A memory without words, still alive in the air. Not every place feels the same. Some simply hold objects, while others seem to carry something you can't quite define. An emotional weight that isn't visible, yet you feel it. The light enters as usual. The walls look ordinary, and still there's a strange density in the air. It's subtle, but your body notices. A soft vibration, not coming from outside, but as if something unspoken were still unfolding within those walls. Sometimes it feels like a quiet discomfort. Other times, a stillness so deep it almost unsettles you. You don't know why, but you feel it. And that is enough. Because if the body responds, then something must be present, even if you can't name it, even if no one else senses it. That room holds something invisible, and for some reason, you recognize it. Not with logic, but with something older that still remembers how to feel. There are rooms where your voice lowers without being told. Spaces where silence feels textured, like something unresolved still lingers in the air. No footsteps, no noise, no shadows. But the atmosphere holds weight. Your breathing softens without reason. Your steps slow, as if you're walking through something fragile and unseen. Maybe it's an old feeling that never quite left. Maybe it's a scene that was never fully lived, still floating somewhere near the ceiling. You don't need to know what happened. You don't even need a reason. Because what lingers doesn't ask for explanation. It simply asks to be felt. And when you feel it, you understand without needing to speak. That space isn't empty. It never was. Something stayed, and now it's touching the part of you that knows how to listen without sound. Sometimes you return to a place from your past, and without warning, everything you thought you had forgotten begins to surface again. It's not a clear memory, not a scene you can describe, just a sensation that moves through your body without asking. That corner where you once waited in silence, that door you closed quietly when no one was looking, that floor where you stood, unsure if you should stay or leave. Nothing seems different, and yet everything feels changed. It's not nostalgia, it's a deeper kind of resonance, as if the space hadn't moved forward, as if it had stayed still, waiting for you to come back. Because some places keep a part of you, even if you've gone on with your life, and when you return, that forgotten part awakens again. Not to relive, but to remind you of what still lives inside you, quiet, patient, and alive. There are places you've never stepped into before, yet they make you feel like you've returned. Not because of what you see, but because of something that moves beneath it, an unspoken calm, a familiarity that doesn't come from this life. As if your emotions had already passed through there, long before your body ever arrived. It's not chance. Some places seem to recognize you, not as you are now, but as you were before forgetting. Their design doesn't just hold people, it holds states of being. It supports what can't be touched, presence, memory, fragments of self. And when you stand there, you feel it, in the texture of your skin, in the rhythm of your breath, in the stillness inside your bones. It's as if the space whispers, "You've been here before." And even if it makes no sense, part of you believes it completely. You don't have to explain what you feel for it to be real. Sometimes, a space surrounds you with a sensation so specific that it defies language. It's not exactly sadness, not quite peace, not fear, and not joy. It's something else, something your body remembers before your mind can name it. Some rooms weren't built just with materials, but with intention, and that intention remains. Maybe it was created in beauty, maybe in pain, maybe in a silence everyone felt but no one ever spoke. And when you walk in, that energy stirs again. You don't need the story. You don't need to know what happened. Because something is still echoing there, waiting to be noticed. The space holds it. You feel it. And in that moment, what once felt ordinary becomes unforgettable. Not because of what you see, but because of what moves inside you. Some places shift you without needing to touch you. They don't use signs or messages, but something deeper. A quiet presence that speaks through stillness. You stand there and suddenly everything feels different. Not because the place changed, but because you're finally ready to perceive what it holds. What once went unnoticed now becomes clear. You notice how the light bends in one corner, how the air moves against the grain, how your breath slows to match a silence you didn't hear before. Nothing has been said, but something is revealed. And you don't know why it's happening now, not before. Maybe it's because you've aligned with something the space was always keeping. You didn't arrive by accident. You arrived when you could finally understand. And when that happens, you don't need proof, because the space already knew you, and now, so do you. Sometimes you dream of places you've never seen, yet they feel familiar in a way that escapes logic. The same staircase, the same textures on the wall, the same corner, quiet and still. You've never been there, yet somehow you could describe it in detail. What if it's not imagination? What if it's something older, something that lives within you, waiting? Some spaces seem to exist inside you long before your body ever arrives. And when you finally walk in, something aligns, as if the space had been holding its breath, waiting for the moment you would return. Maybe time isn't linear, maybe it loops, and maybe that moment of arrival isn't a beginning, but a reunion. Some shapes don't belong to reason, but when you feel them in your skin, in your chest, in your breath, you know. And what you know, you never really forget. Next time you step into a place and something stirs inside you without reason, don't ignore it. It's not always your mind inventing stories. Sometimes what you feel is real, even if it has no shape, no face, no clear origin. Maybe it's an emotion left hanging, a presence without a name, a breath from something that once happened and still echoes between the walls. If something awakens in you, listen. That place might not have been designed to be seen, but to be felt. And if you feel it, it means part of you was already prepared to remember. Not everything that vibrates can be touched. Not everything that lingers is written down. But there are spaces that speak in silence. And maybe this isn't new for you.